We thank you very much for deciding to compete in the UAE Global Management Challenge. The competition is based on a sophisticated simulation model where participants like yourself form teams that manage a virtual company in competition with other teams. Global Management Challenge is the world's largest strategy and management competition. In excess of 30,000 participants from more than 30 countries around the world take part in the competition every year. The competition is open to young professionals and university students. This presentation will take about 23 minutes of your time to provide you an overview of the management report that you will receive for each virtual quarter. In this presentation, we will cover the topics presented here, with a brief narrative explaining each slide. Player's Manual and Company History are the two key materials made available to all the participants taking part in the competition. Player's Manual is the principal resource that explains the organization and functions of the virtual company, the contents of the quarterly management report and the decision sheet, and provides guidance to prepare for the competition. Player's Manual includes useful tips for decision-making for the virtual company. Player's Manual has been prepared by Global Management Challenge Head Office and is the basic document that is available to all participants of Global Management Challenge across the world. If in doubt, Player's Manual should be consulted for the most reliable and authentic information. Company History presents the management reports for the last 5 quarters of your virtual company, while it was being managed by the previous management that your team has now replaced. Company History is the starting point for the competition and is identical for all the companies in your group. You will need to make extensive use of Player's Manual and Company History to participate and excel in the competition. In addition, UAE Global Management Challenge has compiled resources based on the information available in Player's Manual that UAE participants may find useful. These resources comprise 4 PowerPoint presentations entitled Competition Overview, the Virtual Company, the Management Report, and the Decision Sheet. A separate PDF document provides a repository of frequently asked questions. We encourage you to use the resources as appropriate and provide us your feedback where you find inaccuracies, or if you feel we could improve the presentation or other aspects of these resources. It should, however, be noted that in case of conflict, Player's Manual will prevail. The simulation is organized by quarters. Please note that there is no this quarter. You always make decisions during an imaginary point of time between last quarter and the next quarter. This means that when you receive the management report, that is always for the last quarter, and when you make decisions, they are always for the next quarter and beyond. Please note that as soon as decisions for next quarter have been processed, the next quarter would have turned into last quarter. For example, when decisions are being made for Q1 of 2014, Q1 2014 is the next quarter, and Q4 of 2013 is the last quarter. However, as soon as the decisions for Q1 2014 have been processed and a management report for Q1 2014 has been prepared, Q1 2014 would have become the last quarter. Q4 2013 would have turned into the quarter before last, and Q2 2014 would now be next quarter. Most decisions, such as advertising, pricing, etc., are implemented in the next quarter. However, as in real life, there are certain decisions, such as purchase of machinery, training of skilled workers, etc., that take effect in the quarter after next. Please refer to Player's Manual for details. The management report contains the information about your virtual company that you need to review before making decisions for the next quarter. The management report is an Excel file comprising 5 worksheets. The first worksheet, entitled Your Decisions, presents management decisions made by company management for the last quarter. The second worksheet, entitled Resources and Products, presents the last quarter results in terms of physical and human resource utilization, production, and sales. The third worksheet, entitled Financial Statements, presents the last quarter results in financial terms, comprising income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. The fourth worksheet, entitled Group Information, presents the economic and business information for the economy in which your virtual company operates, as well as competitor information for other companies in your group. The fifth worksheet, entitled W, presents a data dump of all the numbers in the first four worksheets. We will explain the utility of this worksheet towards the end of this presentation, after we have described the contents of the first four worksheets. The first worksheet, Your Decisions, presents management decisions made by your team for the last quarter. When you review company history, this first worksheet shows the management decisions made by the previous management team for the last 5 quarters prior to your team taking over management of the virtual company. Please refer to the separate presentation, the decision sheet, for details of this worksheet. The second worksheet, entitled Resources and Products, presents the results and availability of resources after the decisions are made, in terms of physical and human resource utilization, production, and sales. The following slides will provide an overview of each section under this second worksheet. This section shows the utilization of your land in square meters at the end of last quarter. It also shows the size of your factory in square meters at the end of last quarter, and how the space available for production will be used at the start of next quarter. For component and material stocks, it shows the storage area that is required to arrive at a calculation of space available, or the lack of space to store them in your factory. The last line of this section, Available Space, Overflow if Negative, shows the unused space, in square meters, available in your factory at the beginning of next quarter. If this number is negative, it implies that there is a shortage of space and you will have to use external storage for at least some of your material or component stocks. You should also be aware that 25 square meters of space is required for each machine, and 10 square meters of space is required for each assembly worker. If you do not have sufficient space available in your factory, you may be constrained when acquiring new machines and recruiting new assembly workers. You may consider factory extension in conjunction with the building cost of factory extension, which can be found in the Economic Intelligence section of the Group Information Sheet, discussed later in this presentation. This section provides information regarding the number of machines in use last quarter and machines available for next quarter. Any change in number of the machines in use last quarter compared to machines available next quarter is due to the decommissioning and installation of new machines. This section provides information regarding hours that were available for production in the last quarter and preventive maintenance hours for machines, as well as average machine efficiency rate. As machines get older, their efficiency rate drops and breakdown hours increase, which ultimately affects number of hours actually worked. This section provides information regarding utilization of materials. Any difference between opening and closing stock is due to materials being used, lost, destroyed, and/or being bought. It also shows number of materials on order for delivery next quarter and the quarter after next. This section provides information regarding performance statistics relating to your online presence. If you wish to trade over the internet, your website should have the capacity to cope with the volume of traffic that it might attract. This capacity is defined in terms of the number of access ports it has. Any failed attempts to visit your website and internet service complaints will adversely affect your company's image. This section provides information regarding production and assembly personnel available at the start of last quarter and the personnel available for the next quarter. The movement is due to dismissals, recruitment, training, and turnover of employees. The training given to the personnel will eventually improve reliability of your product. This section provides information regarding assembly hours available last quarter. Number of hours available will be affected by absenteeism and number of hours lost due to strike. Strike may occur if employees perceive that they have been dealt unfairly. This section provides status of agents and distributors last quarter and those that will be available in the next quarter. The higher the number of agents and distributors you have, the higher the chances you have of increasing your sales. Agents and distributors might leave you if they feel that they were not making sufficient profit or are not being supported sufficiently by your advertising or commission levels compared to other companies. However, increase in commissions to agents and distributors beyond a certain point will have no or very little impact on sales. In other words, as in real life, there is an optimal point in all decisions, and management should endeavor to identify that optimal point to be able to make efficient decisions. This section provides information regarding the transportation of products delivered to warehouses controlled by the agents and distributors. You decide the number of products to deliver to the EU, NAFTA, and to your Internet distributors. Products are delivered to warehouses controlled by the agents and distributors, who make a charge for storage. Journeys to your online sales distributor and to the port used for shipment to NAFTA are of a fixed length. NAFTA distributors are responsible for transport from the port in America. Journeys to Europe are made as round trips and depend on the number of agents you have selling for you. Transport is by standard-sized containers, and mixed product loads can be carried, but part loads are charged at the full load rate. For transportation costs, refer to Player's Manual, Table 12. This section provides information regarding the primary carbon footprint, which is made up from the use of energy for factory heating and lighting, plus the energy used in your machining and assembly operations. There is a cost associated to offset the carbon footprint and to keep your organization environment-friendly. This section provides information regarding the production scheduled for last quarter, the number of products produced, as well as those lost, destroyed, or rejected due to substandard production. This section provides information regarding products actually delivered in each market. This section shows the number of orders received for each product from each market in the last quarter. Failure to meet orders received will result in a queue of customers awaiting delivery, leading to dissatisfaction and lost sales, which will adversely affect your marketing image. Product availability is even more important for trade on the Internet. If demand is greater than availability, then potential customers are lost, and your company's image as an efficient Internet trader will decline. Information regarding the quantity of each product sold in each market in the last quarter are presented in this section. This section provides information regarding the backlog, unsatisfied orders, for each product in the respective markets. At the end of each quarter, at least half of any orders which remain outstanding in the European and NAFTA areas will be canceled by your potential customers, and those orders left for you to supply in the next quarter will be carried forward as a backlog to be cleared as soon as products become available. If you decide to raise your price in the meantime, or to reduce the quality of your products in some way, then more of your backlog will be canceled at the beginning of next quarter, and the total number of orders canceled will then be greater than half. Should you decide to stop production of a product, any backlog of orders which you may have at that time will remain to be satisfied at last quarter's price. Canceled orders do not go directly to your competitors, but they will benefit in future quarters due to your poor delivery image. Unlike the European and NAFTA areas, for online sales, if there is a shortage of products, no further orders can be taken. This means that for online sales, any orders in excess of available inventory are lost. This section provides information regarding unsold product stocks in the warehouse of agents and distributors at the end of last quarter. Information regarding the number of products serviced under the company's guarantee service is provided in this section. This section shows the feedback from the company's research and development department and the procurement and utilization of product components. Every quarter, R&D department reports the results of its development efforts for each product. Based on the amount spent by the company on research and development, the department may report a major improvement, a minor improvement, or no improvement as none. If no improvement is reported, you may want to reconsider the product development expenditure that you are incurring. A minor improvement is automatically incorporated in your production without the need for a decision by you. If, however, a major improvement has been reported, you will have to decide whether to implement that major improvement in your production plan next quarter or at a later stage. This section also exhibits the information on components ordered and assembled last quarter, the closing stock of components, and components available for assembly next quarter. The third worksheet, Financial Statements, presents financial information regarding the performance of the company during the last quarter. The financial statements comprise income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. This section provides details of the administrative expenses that form part of the income statement. This slide, along with the following 2 slides, present brief explanations of each type of expense included in administrative expenses. This section shows the breakup of accumulated profit at end of last quarter. Separately, details of insurance claimed and primary non-insured risk are presented here. The income statement reflects the revenues and expenses of your company for the last quarter based on decisions taken. You should use this statement to understand the financial performance of your business and where to make changes for the next quarter. This slide, along with the following 4 slides, present brief explanations of each line item on the income statement. The final number on the income statement, profit/loss for the period, is important since it summarizes in financial terms the result of all the efforts made by the company in the last quarter. Based on the decisions taken, a balance sheet provides a snapshot of a company's assets and liabilities, along with its equity. This slide, along with the following 2 slides, present brief explanations of each line item on the balance sheet. Cash flow statements allow the management to understand how the company's funds are being generated and how they are being utilized. This slide, along with the following 2 slides, present brief explanations of each line item on the cash flow statement. The fourth worksheet, Group Information, presents the economic and business indicators for the economy in which your company operates, as well as competitor information. This section shows economic indicators such as gross domestic product and unemployment rate for the last quarter for the economies where your company produces and markets its products. This section also presents certain key cost indicators applicable to your company decisions, such as building cost, which is relevant to you if you decide to extend your factory space, component cost, which is of importance if you decide to procure components from subcontract suppliers instead of or in addition to machining them using your own machines. This section of the Economic Intelligence presents information regarding prices of materials at spot, 3 and 6 months, as well as business reports as extracted from recent financial press. The information regarding materials prices may be used to plan procurement in a manner that would minimize total costs. The summary information extracted from the financial press may provide an indicator to world events that may impact your company's operations, and thus may provide an opportunity for forward planning. This section provides selected last quarter information for all the companies in your group which would, in the normal course of events, be available to you. This information is available to the company free of cost. This information includes the investment performance numbers for all the companies in the group. Investment performance is the criterion for winning the competition, and as such, investment performance results show a measure of each team's performance as of the last quarter. This section presents balance sheets for all the companies in your group on a comparative basis. This information is also available to the company free of cost. This section presents comparative information regarding market shares and business activity of all the companies in your group. Market shares information shows the percentage of market share by sales achieved by each company in the last quarter in each market for each product. Business activity information comprises comparative information for advertising and product development costs incurred by each company in the group, consumer star rating for each product as assessed by a consumer panel, and an assessment of website effectiveness. Information regarding market shares and business activity, coupled with other comparative and company-specific information, may be of considerable use in assessing the performance of your own company and providing a means of strategic decision-making for the following quarters. Information regarding market shares and business activity is not free, and the management have to specifically request for it to be purchased. Market shares information costs 5,000 euros per quarter, and business activity information costs 7,500 euros per quarter. The fifth worksheet, entitled W, presents a dump of the output generated by the simulation software in the first two columns of this worksheet. The numbers in the previous four worksheets are formatted and linked to the numbers in this worksheet to provide meaningful information for the participants. W worksheet is not of direct relevance to the decisions required to be made for the virtual company. However, W worksheet may be used by participants for data analysis and review. We thank you for your time. We trust that this presentation was helpful. Please send us your feedback if you have suggestions for improvement. We are confident that you will find participation in UAE Global Management Challenge a rewarding and fulfilling experience, and wish you all the success. You may contact us by email info@managementchallenge.ae for more information.